Hi, this Cub for Military podcast. I still teach security, I still train, and at 71, I still believe in discipline. But discipline alone isn't enough. Discipline without purpose becomes very frustrating, and purpose without discipline becomes very chaotic. What I see today across all ages is a lack of purpose. Young people aren't weak, they're just very unguided, and they're very misguided. They were never taught discipline, goals, and being responsible. On the other side of it, I see people in their 50s and their 60s who think, my time is just over. I'm just sitting here waiting to die. That's not age, that is disappointment. When I teach security, I don't just teach skills, I teach discipline and purpose. Discipline teaches you how to show up. Purpose teaches you, why am I here? The young need structure and they need people to look up to. The older need their purpose restored. Age doesn't disqualify you, giving up does. And it's a really big problem today. Stand up, stay disciplined, and live with purpose. That's what we need to do. And another thing is you have to watch your diet. Diet is so very important. And I see people, I go down to Walmart and I see them filling their baskets full of a lot of junk food and sugars and stuff, and they wonder why the kids are obese or they're obese. They wonder why they're depressed. A lot of the food that you eat causes depression. I have depression in my family, and it's in our genes. So I don't need to go down there and go to McDonald's and feed my face with French fries. Okay, French fries is a really bad thing for you to be eating. It causes a lot of depression. Any processed food does. All you have to do is research it. So if you're depressed and you're going down there and you're asking for a large size fries, all you're doing is asking for more depression. So what I'm asking you to do is start researching some of the food that you're eating. Get up in the morning, get up early, discipline yourself to do that. You don't have to go and lift 5 days a week like I do. You don't have to do that. Just get up, take a walk, take some light weights and work out. You'd be surprised after 3 months how you feel and how you're going to look if you start watching what you're eating. What I do in the morning is I get up very early. I leave at 5:30. I come down here and I lift weights to the bunker here. And I do a podcast. And the morning, what I eat in the mornings, I usually have oatmeal. And what I'll have is I'll have 2 or 3 eggs in the morning. And that's what I eat. And I eat a lot of meat. At lunchtime, my wife usually, she cooks up a lot of steak. We eat a lot of steak. But for my other podcast, remember, it's really important that you watch where you buy your meat. Don't buy them in Shaw's or any place like that. Go to a farm or go somewhere, like I said, it's in Freeport, Bow Street Market. They have the best meat around here, or you go to Bisson's Farms. It comes right directly from the beef right there. They cut it up and butcher it right there. You can even watch it sometimes. I know I've been there at Bisson's Farms. I was watching them cut it up and stuff. It's very fresh and it's organic. It's grass-fed. The trouble is with the meat that you get in the supermarket, you don't know where. It could be coming from China. Who knows? You don't know where that meat's coming from. A lot of times what grocery stores will do is they'll buy meat from the best price that they can get. So, when you look at that steak that's in between that plastic and stuff, and you look at it and you say, well, that looks like it's pretty good meat, you better research what you're eating. Do yourself a favor. Do the extra miles to go somewhere to a farm or go to Bow Street or anywhere around your area that has a farm, and you get your beef grass-fed, from, where you live, and it comes directly from a farm. Okay, that's the best thing you can ever do. Like I said, we eat a lot of meat. My wife and I, we eat meat probably 2 to 3 times a day, believe it or not. And, and you're worried about cholesterol. Well, there's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. And I had to research that, and I talked to my good friend, Lieutenant Colonel Itai Gill. He's the one that got me fixed on meat, because I always thought, listen to some of the doctors, that, if I'm eating meat, I'm going to hurt myself because I'm going to have too much cholesterol. Well, my last blood tests were excellent. I just had them done at the VA and stuff, so I know what I'm doing is the right thing. So anyway, if you're dealing with obesity and you're dealing with depression and anxiety, you need to look at what you're eating. Okay, so anyway, stay tuned and we'll talk to you next time. Bye now.